Okay, gonna do a quick recap on the three tickers that I traded today. I traded SNOA or SNOA. I traded BTTX and Shitbox, also known as RDBX Redbox. Um, so I traded SNOA this morning, SNOA this morning. Super sketchy for me because it's like a 2 or 3 million float or super small float, if I remember right. That could be wrong. Um, and I've just always been taught to stay away from micro floats. But I shorted it in pre-market. Going to the daily real quick. Saw a nice level around 420 in pre-market. Get rid of this. It's not relevant right now. And then waited for price action around that area. And you can see how the 420 from the daily converts over to my 5-minute chart. We just got like a nice push. And, we held above 420 for a minute. And then we failed. I started shorting it. Give me a second. Right here, which was a tad bit early. But it was just like a partial, small starter right in there. This is where I started because I thought maybe it was just going to kind of fail and just, I always think they're just going to go down way easier than they do. So patience for retests. And then I added more here, I added more here, I added more here, and maybe in here. And then I covered a lot of it down here. And the reason was this is kind of where the stock broke out and started to see some volume. So this is a demand zone right there. You can kind of see how this pushes into the demand zone and then bounces. I know people who were shorting this thinking, they're shorting some kind of EMA or whatever, and I know some people got pushed around a little bit around VWAP on this one because you're always sitting there thinking it's 2 million whatever micro float and pre-market, shit gets wild. So I was just happy, had like a 418 or so average and covered most right around, I think that's 380s. So if you take, I was happy with the trade. I didn't touch it. I just left it alone. This gap stats on this SNOA say it likes to extend generally after the open, and it wasn't doing that. So I think if it would have extended straight away and like popped and failed, kind of like this, and then like kind of extended this, and then immediately got sucked back down, and then some shit like this, I would have shorted it more. But it didn't do that, so I just kind of stayed away. Kind of felt like it was gonna squeeze all day. Like I thought it was gonna squeeze here, thought it was gonna squeeze there. So didn't have a really good read on it during the open. But this is what would this like this push and fail of this level would have gotten me back in on the short side, back under 420, something like that for a fade. But I mean, this faded, but it didn't really like let go. So I don't know. I'm fine missing that. Executions. See if I can bring this over. Yeah, I bring this over. So there's those executions. You can see covering into J lines and VWAP. And then this is like a weird print from DOS for who doesn't use DOS. You're not going to know what this is. This is not a real print. That didn't happen. That would have got me out, most likely. It does it at the top of the hour, like every hour. I don't remember if this was a real one or not. But in pre-market only, DOS does that shit. It freaks you out sometimes. You forget. So yeah, there's the executions on SNOA. Like I said, started a little early. Felt like I chased it down and then found my spot. Covered out. Okay, next thing I traded in this order. Yeah, that's fine. BTTX. This was one that there's the daily. Had some levels lined up on the daily. It's okay if it extends the level. I just don't like to see it hold or base above the level. And then the hourly, you can see this move started yesterday, and then it extended pre-market or after hours night before last night. Pulled back this morning. Probably put in some, a decent long signal. I mean, you can see when it starts to hold previous tops. That's usually like a good sign of strength, especially if it holds the top, it breaks the top, pushes down, holds it, and then breaks out from that top. You'll probably see it better on a lower time frame chart. We'll click over in a second. So maybe there's a long signal or something in there, but really was just interested in the short. But anyway, yeah, so like there's that daily level. See how it extended and then it just stuffed back down through. So nothing nothing too interesting. I was watching 212 as another level intraday. This isn't a daily level, but I was watching 212 because I'm looking at all these hourly bars that push up into this zone right here. Just this zone in general. And I could see that, I mean, we can't even close a bar above 212. Close a bar at 212, we open at 212, we push, we fail, wick up into 212, wick up into 212, 225, and then fail. This is important to me, the context of this bar, because this is possibly trapping people who are longs, and then it's also stopping out all these shorts. Most likely, it's stopping out a lot of short sellers from in here. So when it does this and then fails, pretty good sign for me. So over to the 5-minute. I didn't take part in any of this. Like I said, this was the extension and the fail on that hourly chart. And if you get way back here, you can see how it's acting up here. This is what I was watching. Like, oh wow, we make this push on super high volume down here last night, and then we make this push on less volume. So that's interesting. It's interesting to me. So anyway, I keep my two levels intact because I like to watch, how it interacts on the intraday charts. So yeah, here's that long signal. I was talking to a trader friend of mine this morning. We talk every day, and I told him we should long this thing, and it was like right in here. But yeah, this is where it pushes down. It holds it holds this top. You can see it. See how it holds that top? Support, fake breakdown, holds it, reclaims it, curls up. 184 to 244 is not a bad long on a cheap little stock like this. But anyway, I kind of had some FOMO right here because I wanted to trade it, and I just thought, this could be front side. Don't do it. This was SSR today as well, and I don't claim to be an expert at SSR. But you can get faders. So I kind of put some orders out here after we got this top was in, and then it failed down to VWAP. That is. Let's see where I took it actually. Before I say what I think. Nope, there it is. I shorted it right here. Took half size because this was my level that I wanted to short. But I thought this level could be primary, or we not have the strength to get back up higher on this shit volume down here. So I took it at this level. That was 212, and then got like a quick, just a super easy, painless wash down to 190. So got 20 cents, like just instantaneous. So covered down here. I think I covered like 50-60% of the position, and then held on to the rest of it at this average. And then we started to work our way back up. And it just had sellers on the tape. Like it would push up, it would wash down 10 cents. And I would think that, okay, it's done. And then it would just keep doing that all the way up into this level. And I was watching the volume up into this level. This is a 5-minute chart, mind you. So you're looking at, 800,000 share bars, but it's over the course of 5 minutes. If I saw that kind of volume on the 1-minute chart, I'm like being way more cautious, but this is on a 5-minute chart. So low volume, it just had a weird thing about it. So I carefully added in here, added in here. I wanted my average to obviously come up from 212, and I think I worked it up to like 220, to be honest with you. And so I added maybe just 2 spots up in here, but I added, I amplified my size to be able to manipulate the average, and I was willing to probably take more up into like 230 and then see what it does. It looked like it was squeezy, I guess you would say, but it just, I don't know, something about it didn't make me a believer. I thought for sure we'd see 230 retest. So I had more. I was ready to add more. Again, going back to that hourly chart, and where I got some of that conviction was, I mean, they weren't able to do anything sustainable up here, and we were up almost to 230. Weak volume, nothing scary. So I kind of added, and I was ready to take a stop. I'm completely planning on taking a stop on every trade I take. And then got some really nice fails on this one. Like I said, it was just, those are out here. That's everything we just talked about. And then the execution chart right here. Got some really nice fails, and I think it kept Yeah, we failed down all the way to 170. So, in after hours. So, another 16 cents. But I just covered all of it right down there. 220, 185. I was content. So that was BTTX. And then RDBX. This thing was like moving today. This chart doesn't look all that volatile, but 650, we pushed up to 840, and we pushed up into these areas right here, and that's when I started to kind of get interested to see this, because again, today's volume, yesterday's volume, lots of traders trapped here, 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 everywhere. I traded this long yesterday. And then you get this huge ass wash. Like there's some people left in this chart. Bag holders. But this, you could see how this 830, 840 round up, call it 850 is a nice pivot. We rejected it in pre-market. We rejected it today. We based off of it yesterday. It's pretty much my stop yesterday, all day for the longs. It was the 830 zone. So you kind of had to be patient, because like this against that and this and that, this and that. This was, you could have shorted this. Totally could have shorted it. You just have to be ready to take your stop. If you grabbed it at 768 and then, you get 720 at VWAP, I mean, you get 48, right? 48, you get 40 cents. Fuck, I'm tired. 20. Yeah, you get almost 50 cents on this pullback to VWAP. And if you're not taking profit on that kind of move, I do. And then you gotta be ready to take your stop and then look for the next trade. But I didn't trade it here. I didn't trade it here. I didn't trade it here. I let it kind of fail. I let it fail down, and then I looked for a spot like up, like, granted, I already had this resistance, right? The 850 zone. We already had that as resistance. So the tape was super thin on this thing, so I just wasn't comfortable jumping in here go out right after lunch, and I just waited. If it's gonna fail, it's gonna fail decent. So there's plenty of room. So held tight, and I shorted it in here, and I shorted it here. I like this curl up right here. So this curl up right here. You get a nice volume increase. You get, I mean, who knows what you're getting? You're getting probably these shorts from the morning stopping out. Like a little bit of a panic. You're getting probably some long buyers in there, some hopefuls. So just waited for the fail. Got the fail, and then I shorted against this kind of It's pre-market low, and then it was this curl up. So to me, this is a trap and a squeeze or whatever. So it took the backside of that here and here. And then, yeah, like I said, the chart looks small, but you can see like 750 was my average because I, took some here, took some here, took some there, took a little bit lower, and then 750 down to, I mean, it went down to 6, but I covered and then covered down here below 7, and just I was kind of grateful for the move and called it. So yeah, you can see that I lined this up almost perfectly. It's a nice pivot. Hindsight, I wish I should have taken some here, or at least on the fail of 8. I wasn't watching the whole dollar. I could have put more size on had I done that. So yeah, those are the 3 trades today, and market's good. Hope to have some more of this action tomorrow. All right, later.